Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how reflection works in painting in general, and I'm going to show you how I paint this cloudscape. And let's get started. So if you have an object that is straight up and perpendicular to the water, its reflection will be the same size and height as the original object. If the object leans forward, the reflection will be longer and the bottom of the reflection will be slightly bigger. While on the other hand, if the object leans backward, its reflection will be shorter and the bottom of that reflection will be smaller. If the object leans to one side, the reflection will also lean to that same side at the same angle. Now let's say we have some river water that has dirt at the bottom and some green plants. So it has a ground grayish color. Now above that river is a blue sky. When this blue sky got reflected onto the river, the reflection color is going to be the color of the sky mixed with the color of the water, which make the blue become darker and less saturated. Now let's say we have a very dark pool like this. Because the color of the pool itself is darker than the color of the water, its reflection is actually going to be a little bit lighter. Another thing to keep in mind is that the reflection is actually only on the surface of the water. What that means is that if the water is moving, the reflection will also move and become a little bit more blurry. The last thing I want to mention is that the smaller the angle you're looking at things, the stronger the reflection is going to be. So in this case, the red line will cause a weaker reflection than the blue line. This is usually pretty obvious when you're looking at river photo. So in this one, for example, when you're looking straight down, you can see the rock under the water very close to the shore where you're standing. Whereas where you're looking out further to the horizon, you can see more reflection of the sky and the mountain without really actually being able to see what's under the water anymore. Now, if there's no water near you, what you can do is actually take out your phone, turn it on, and looking straight down at it. What you will see is whatever your phone screen shows. Now, if you lift it up parallel to your eye level, you can actually start seeing the reflection of the light on the ceiling or anything around your area instead of what your phone screen actually is showing. So those are the things that I think would be very useful to keep in mind whenever you're painting reflection. Now let's actually getting into the painting. I'm starting out by painting the sky color, making it lighter blue at the bottom and darker as I go up to the top. Now we're going to use pink to paint the clouds in more of a C curve from the top right to bottom left. Here I'm adding a little darker color to paint the shadow of the cloud, and when I get to the area where the blue paint was, I just use a clean damp brush to take off some of the blue paint before I put another very light layer of pink on top of that. After that, I'm adding a little bit more color to the sky, making it slightly darker as I wait for the cloud to dry. Now when the cloud dry, I'm just going back in with even more color, adding some more highlights and shadow to the cloud. After that, I'm adding some dark mountain on the horizon. Now after we finish the top half, we're actually going to paint the water. I'm starting out with a darker blue and less saturated compared to the sky, because like we talked before, the color of the sky reflection is going to be the mixture of the sky color and the local color of the water itself, so therefore it's a little bit darker and less saturated. The same goes for the cloud. Imagine mixing that pinkish color with a little bit of burnt sienna. It will make the color a little less saturated, darker, and also a tad more orange than the original cloud on the sky. Also make sure that both the shadow and the highlights of the reflection is actually darker than the actual cloud itself. Now for the mountain from very far away, because it's so dark, its reflection is actually going to be a little bit lighter than the actual mountain. Then we're pretty much done. The very last step, I'm just adding some leaf poking through from the top and also the bottom of the page. These are not reflection, these are just the actual leaf from the tree around the rivers. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. I'll see you next time.